On this webinar, we're going to take a look at how to fill candidate into a contract job assignment. So I'm going to go straight into my job record. So from my jobs tab, go into my job from here, and you can see that we're in a contract job. From the drop down from summary, we've got here shortlist and CVs page, and also an interviews and assignments page. And both of these, you can go and click on fill and do the final step to put the candidate into that job. So let's just look at this page first of all. So if anyone's in shortlist or anyone's in CV sent, as you can see, we've got someone here, you can tick onto that person and click onto fill. And that is the final step to book them into the job. We can also do that from the interviews and assignments page. So you can see here we've got Cassandra, and you can tick there. She's had an interview, was successful, so now we're going to fill, and that's going to book her into the role. This message will always come up on any job you book somebody in. The ID of the candidate has not been confirmed. This is a workflow that we used to train to manage whether or not you've received identification from the candidate. So in the GDPR and checks page on the candidate record, you can edit on that page, and there's an identity field, and you can go and put in what ID you've seen. What we now recommend in training, because we've got a much better function, is we've got the compliance and onboarding function where you can add what documents you need and tick off when you've received them. So if you are using that instead of using the identity field, then as long as you know you've done your checks and you're confident with that, you can click on OK and ignore that warning message. So this is our final page. So of course, we're going to go and check if all these details are correct. So we can see we've got a contact from here. Candidates all booked in, and we've got a primary job record, and that will all have been done on previous steps when creating the job. Start and end dates are in, so obviously change those if you do need to. And then I would recommend to always put in the start and end times of a standard day for this contractor. You can see this has all been completed already. Send docs by email. So if it's left on that, it's going to produce a final email that goes out to one to the candidate and one to the client, confirming start dates, how much they're being paid, etc. If you don't for any reason want to send that out, you can change it to no docs, and you've always got the option to send it out by letter. So you could pick post, and if post, you always need to tell the system which address you're sending it to. If you do want to produce the contract and send it out now, you can click on Send Contract Now. And from that option, you can select the contract type. So you can have two different versions of contracts in the system and two different templates. So select the appropriate one. You can also create the booking form from now if you want to. That's an option in here. And on the right, we're going to take a look at the pay. So we can see we've got our pay in here. We know it's a daily rate, and so that's how much the candidate's being paid, and then that is how much they're being charged. If AWR is applicable to this role and to this person, and you know what their rates would be on week 13, you can add those rates into that section now. You also have the option to have two different overtime rates for a contractor. At the top, we've got our commission information, so you can see I'm getting 100% commission, but if there are any other consultants you need to apply, then you can type their name in and search and put the percentages in here. At the bottom, again, we've got an AWR section. So are they exempt from AWR? Yes or no. If it's yes, then you need to say the reason for exemption. So I'm going to say they are self-employed. Down here, if AWR was applicable, then we've got a section here where you can say, have they already worked for that client before within the last 6 to 8 weeks for AWR? And then how many weeks have they accumulated? And then you need to verify that for that to start the clock at the appropriate week. Quite often with contractors, they're normally exempt anyway, so we can go from that and confirm. And this is the final stage to book that person into the job. So you'll see what it does is it creates an additional record now, which links that one candidate to the job. So down here we can see the candidate, link to the job, and link to the client. So there's a contract assignment record, and then you've got activities that you can run in here which you can see in a different webinar. So if we go back to our job, we can see down here, Cassandra has moved into the assignment section. So we know that she's booked into that role. The other place that you can fill someone into the job is from the studios. So if we go over here. So for example, if we look at candidate submittals, we can see we've got Ashley that's at CV sent stage that we saw earlier for the same job. And from the drop down here, at any time, you can click on it says place, but it still means the same thing. So if we click on that, it still links it to filling the contract job, and it's exactly the same page. So that's final stage of filling a candidate into a contract job, can be done either from the contract job record or of course from our studios.